Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on a very special book from a very good friend of mine, and that novel being The Animal by Chad Nicholas. Chad is a good friend of mine and I've read all of his books so far. A while ago he sent me an email, and I do mean a while ago, asking me if I would like to read The Ark to the Animal. This was before, well, long before it was due to be released. And at the time I said, yeah, sure, because I'm going to read everything that Chad actually publishes and writes. But it did take me a while to get to this book. With all that said and done, it's something that I deeply regret doing, because this book is absolutely fantastic. So before I go any further, I just want to say, as normal, this is going to be a spoiler-free video, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book. So this book is, as you can imagine, a horror novel. It's been described as a slasher novel, and yes, it kind of is in my mind. It is and it isn't. It's more of a creature feature book with elements of slasher, sprinkled throughout. So the book is set in a small American town which has been kind of consumed by this local legend of this animal that appeared 25 years ago and savagely and brutally murdered several people in graphic and gory ways, and then disappeared into the night, never to be seen again. This legend of this creature that these townspeople have of it is held in such a high regard that the animal is more of a celebrity than a monster. The animal is held up in such high regard that all of its victims have been gradually forgotten throughout time, as they have been somewhat reduced to just a number, victim number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Even the victims' names have probably been forgotten through the years. And yes, the townspeople acknowledge that these victims lost their lives in graphic and gory ways, and it was a terrible tragedy. But to these townsfolk, this legend of this animal, this creature of the night, is more important to them than however many people it actually killed, or whoever it killed in the past. But one girl survived this tragic, gory night. This girl called Riley, who hid underneath her bed and witnessed the gory death of her parents. Riley was only a child when this happened. She was very small, and throughout the years she has kind of been consumed with this, and she's been training her daughter to prepare for when the animal will and if it ever returns. It's more or less what Sarah Connor does with John in the Terminator franchise. She kind of trains her daughter to survive in a situation if the animal does ever return. She wants to have closure for what happened. She wants to have answers to what's happened. But she's more of a hermit. She doesn't socialize with anyone. All she's focused on is when the animal does and if it ever returns. That's all she wants and cares about. But one night an animal does appear. This creature does return again, or so it would seem, after it attacks a group of teenagers. Or our main character is a young lady called Kelly and a small group of friends that get hunted and attacked by this creature. Now at first this creature does seem to be very similar to the original monster, but it's not quite the same, as Riley is kind of pressurized into helping out these group of teenagers survive this attack and hopefully fight back when the animal does appear and tries to hunt them down. At first she doesn't want to do this because she wants to protect her daughter, because that's like top of her priority list. She feels that if she does intervene with these teenagers, is that she won't be able to protect her daughter fully and be there for her. She is a good mum. She's not abusive or anything like that. The local sheriff and a nurse who was there originally when Riley was hiding underneath her bed when she's survived the first attack. These two individuals kind of took her under their wing and befriended her and supported her throughout this difficult time. But when Riley discovers that there's something not quite right about the animal, like why does it have a bone knife to actually kill when it's essentially a werewolf? I'm not entirely sure if the book describes it black and white as being a werewolf, but it does have wolf-like attributes. It's extremely strong, agile, smart, and it's the ultimate predator. And all it wants is to hunt and kill and destroy. But again, if it's a werewolf, why does it need a bone knife? And also, Riley doesn't remember it ever growling before. This animal is very similar to the original animal, but there's something not quite right about it. Is it the original animal? Has it just evolved throughout the 25 years it's been dormant? And why has it been dormant for 25 years? So yeah, this book is just about Riley trying to uncover the truth about what this creature is and what it wants, and also get answers to her past about why it killed her parents and what it wants, and also uncover the mystery behind it. There was also other characters in this book, such as a old man that goes hunting in the woods and confronts the animal. There was also a young boy who is kind of he is an outcast. He is kind of known in the small group of young teenagers, but they kind of shun him and think that he's crazy because this character called Oliver, he is extremely obsessed about the animal and this new animal that's returned, as he wants to uncover the truth. He's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes type of character. He doesn't have any friends whatsoever. All he wants to do is uncover the truth at any cost. And trust me, the price he has to pay for this is extremely high. So when I started, I thought that our main character, who was going to carry us through the majority of the story, was going to be Kelly. But I was wrong. The main characters are Riley and Oliver. Now they have to try to uncover the truth. And also are the sheriff and this lead nurse, or this head nurse, hiding any secrets. So this eventually comes down to a big confrontation at the end where lies are revealed, the truth is uncovered, and they have to try to survive this animal and find out what it's doing. And is it a real life creature or is it a person in a costume? That's kind of thrown out there as a possibility. This story was extremely interesting. It took me through all the emotions. Like, you know, when you're reading a book and you're really enjoying it, but you are so desperate to find out what's going to happen next that you kind of ask yourself, can this please go on a bit quicker? I need to find out what's going to happen. But at the same time, I wouldn't really have wanted any of this book to be taken away. Yes, this book is a bit of a slow burn in places. Yes, it can be a little bit repetitive at times. But with that said, as I just mentioned, I wouldn't have changed a thing about this book. It was extremely gripping. It was extremely scary. It kept me guessing about about what was going to happen and who this creature potentially was going to be. And Chad, as always, is a master at storytelling and character development, and he is a master also at twists in his book. Not just a twist ending, but twists in the plot throughout the whole freaking story. As I just mentioned at the start of this video, I've read everything that Chad has actually published. I've read the Nightmare, which was good, Shades, which was not as good, but it was okay, but this one is absolute perfection. But this, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best thing that Chad has ever written. If you are in any doubts whatsoever about reading a book by, specifically horror, by a small or unknown author, someone that you have never heard about, but you're thinking, well, I'm actually not sure. I would rather read something by this author who I know a lot about and is really popular. If you have any doubt whatsoever in your mind about reading something which is horror based by a small or unknown author, you are missing out immensely. Read this book. I cannot state that clearly enough. This is perfection in the horror genre. This is a wonderful, gripping story, and I can't praise it enough. Go and read it, go and buy it. What did I like about this book? I liked the characters and I liked the gore. My only criticism about this book is that I would have liked Chad to focus more on the town. The town itself should have been a character in this book. Like Derry in It, Derry is a character all by itself. It's the setting and it should be an important part of the book. If Chad focused more on the town and the residents of the town and the businesses and the houses there and the residents, then I feel that it would have kind of elevated it to a much, much higher level. But that's really nitpicking. As I said, this book was extremely enjoyable for me, and of course I'm going to rate it 5 stars. Lastly, I forgot to actually mention this. When you are looking on Amazon for The Animal, you'll come across another book called The Animal Kelly's Party. So this one's only on Kindle. At first I thought it was going to be a kind of a extra novella to add on, maybe like a sequel or a prequel to the Animal novel itself. But I just want to say that this book is only the first chapter of the Animal novel. So just be aware about that. I do not know why Chad released the first chapter of the book in this kind of like, by itself separately. But just be aware about that. And I just want to say to Chad, hopefully he's watching this, I am extremely sorry that it took me this long to get to The Animal, but it was definitely worth the wait, and I can promise you that the next book that you write and that you want me to read ahead of the release date, I will jump on that straight away. So that's been my review for The Animal. Hopefully I've done it justice, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.